the questions to Colin.
I think again, it's really interesting discussion around sort of value. I think it's like I've got a few slides, so it's probably I'll sort of share and then probably we'll open this one up for discussion. It's around the identifying the whole value chain. I think it's the structured web monitoring is one thing, whether we can use that just to unlock values that we've never seen existed before. So if you don't mind, I'll just sort of share a couple of my slides, Colin, and then so I'll come back and this is a really sort of important forum. So we really need to get our academic sort of partners on board in this discussion. So if I may share my slide, and I'll keep it very brief because I'm sort of just raising a few questions. So yeah, look, I think we just had a really interesting discussion at advisory board meeting yesterday, as well as I've listened to all the presentations, and I've been sort of participating in ANSOM for more than 7 years now, and I really get fascinated by the amount of work our academic circles have been sort of contributing towards this, and it's about sort of how we link that one to the commercial application. So my title is Infotech. Sorry, I go back. It's just Infotech, SHM, and beyond. So the definition of Infotech is actually the deployment of or integration of digital technologies with physical infrastructure to deliver efficient, connected, resilient, and agile assets. It's quite broad. If you look at the study done by PwC around IoT opportunities in Australia, so they looked at 5 different industry sectors. This is a 2-year-old report. In this circle, this is quite old. But if you look at the construction industry itself, the potential benefit through the adoption of industrial IoT is in the tune of $75 to $96 billion. So we are looking at a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So, that's why we really need to focus on developing an ecosystem which has got multiple players, dabbling in multiple different things and all that. So that's why I don't see anyone as competitors in this space. We all are some form of collaborator in a sense, because we really need to build this industry here. And post-COVID, McKinsey did a study on the construction industry, and construction industry has been laggard in the adoption of technology. If you look at a car like a Tesla, it's just a $50,000, $60,000 car can sort of drive itself. But if you look at our infrastructure industry, we sort of still continue to do things the way we used to do in the past, other than some sort of digital engineering and a few other things. And really fascinating thing is around the change that is coming from not only from innovators, but also from regulators at the policy level, because the owners are getting more and more sophisticated now, and they're demanding like sustainability outcome, the digital engineering outcomes, and all that, all to improve sustainability and safety and performance and all that. And if you look at the right-hand side of this one, the biggest element of that is around digitization and the application of digital technology. And the digital technology is only one piece, but there are other social elements as well, which sort of we need to cover, but we'll keep it very brief. Infotech, you talk about digital transformation, digital engineering, IoT, we just talked about all these buzzwords. But what I'm finding is like with our interaction with our stakeholders, is that we really need bespoke solution per industry. Like sort of Dusan mentioned that you don't want bespoke, generalized, but I'm talking more from the industry sense, not about like an asset by asset term. So for an industry sense, like we just our collaborators are sort of requesting that. And another thing sort of we discussed in previous sessions is like a few years ago, people from data science that came in and said, like, people wearing black t-shirt can sort of solve all the problems of the planet, but you just can't undervalue the physics element to the problem, to the solution. And the third thing we're finding is like just the domain expertise. That's been really, really important. So people talk about twin peak demographics these days, like, you can't buy experience. So you just need to get that into the mix as well. And multidisciplinary skills. So not one company or one academic can sort of solve all the problems. So not only collaboration, like now we're talking about building consortia to solve very difficult problems. And towards the end, like, it's all got to be end user centric innovation. Got to get the end user on board right from the very beginning, and then just follow that the circular innovation wheel. So to me, structural health monitoring is a subset of Infotech. Infotech covers quite a broad area. But what I'm finding is that listening to all the talks yesterday and today, we're sort of branching into that area as well. And structural health monitoring is a very matured technique and has been around for a very, very long time. And I believe as an industry, as a collaboration with academia and industry, we got a real fascinating opportunity just to really drive this infotech revolution. Very quickly, just want to talk about the Lixia story. It was recently spun a company off called Lixia, Living Infrastructure Bioinformatics and Analytics. So this is based on our work with James Cook University for the last 18 months, funded by Oz Industry, supported by CSIRO on program, and mentored by a unicorn sort of spun out of town, sort of started from Townsville Safety Culture, and now sort of funded by, partly funded by Queensland Government and Advanced Precinct North Queensland. So I don't want to go to the technical aspects of this one, but essentially sort of it's just monitoring the asset integrity of the poles and wires, the utility industry. Gentian has done a lot of work in that space as well. And I'm meant to sort of have a chat to him about this at some point. But the fascinating thing in our journey around sort of customer-centric approach is that initially we started with this technology to actually, utilize these on bridges, but bridges we're finding too hard, too early. So but we stumbled into this utility industry, which sort of it's looks simple from the outside, but it's quite challenging from the inside. And in Australia, we've got 5 million poles. Even if you design a system that costs $100, the industry can't buy them. Like, it's just not practical. But at the same time, you send a couple of guys, every 5 years just to drive around, dig around, prod around, and sort of provide reports around that. So what we're finding in this process is that the value is not just on structural health monitoring, but the value was around, understanding the other regulatory parameters, whether that is the sag of the conductor line, whether that is around the temperature, whether this is around sort of identifying pole top fire, whether it's around identifying, like potentially like from the disaster resilience perspective around sort of early warning system for bushfire and all that. All of a sudden, like, the structural monitoring system has become like a really small subset of the whole big picture that the utility industry is trying to solve. And with that, sort of it sort of took us to this next project, which now we're talking about sort of establishing an industrial IoT plant in Northern Australia, actually to solve problems that we've got in the industries that we have in Northern Australia, whether that is manufacturing, agriculture, defense, health, energy, logistics, and all those industries. And obviously, Lixia is just a catalyst, but obviously this opens up the whole new opportunities for a lot of different players, whether academics or startups and all that, just to really come in and really test the systems out. And help improve the efficiencies of the traditional industries that we have, but create a new industry as a result, and really export that product to the planet. So that's what we're getting a lot of interest, getting a lot of support from stakeholders, all three levels of governments, universities, and the like. And another thing, what we're finding is like the gap in manufacturing innovation. So now we started from structural monitoring, but now we've now sort of gotten into the advanced manufacturing circles, and this is what is called manufacturing valley of death. So with this, team of what I call rock star academics that we've got in this forum, really would like to see how we can push that left red line towards the right hand side to get universities involved a bit more further along the line in the technology readiness levels. Another one is like in the advanced manufacturing circles, they people focus on production, but production only employs around 50% of the workforce. And along the value chain, like from R&D, design, logistics, distribution, sales, and support, there are a lot of other opportunities around there for industry university collaboration and really sort of make Australia as a really efficient, smart manufacturing, advanced manufacturing nation.